Hello and welcome to another episode of ESPN Cricinfo Gloves Off. On the red corner, we have with us Murli, Mike Tyson, Karthik. In the blue corner, we have VVS, Evander, Holyfield, Laxman. Our topic for the day is home advantage or toss advantage. What matters more in test? Let's dive in to our first round. It's called First Blood. VVS, we'll start with you.
Yeah, my take is tosses is more important than just the home advantage. There's no doubt that the side hosting the series will have the advantage on their side, but how do you negate that? It's only by giving an option to the visiting captain to choose what he wants to do on their surfaces, and there's an old adage saying that tosses win you matches.
Okay, that's summed up. Karthik, your turn.
Look, home advantage is the biggest thing because historically you look at so many series being played, you can give the toss to the opposition, the toss might be taken by the opposition, but how many teams have travelled well? How many teams have won games in spite of winning tosses? You can prepare pitches, you know in spite of losing the toss that you've got the conditions to your advantage, you know what you do, you're accustomed to those conditions, and invariably the teams which are playing at home are the ones winning the series. So tosses don't make a difference, it's the home advantage.
Okay, both of you well within your 30 seconds. You've heard the opening statements. It's now time for our second segment and it's called Trading Blows. Okay, gentlemen, time now to put on your boxing gloves. You can now have counter arguments. Karthik, we'll start with you.
Look, the reason why I say is that you look at the win percentage in the last 5 years, just going last 5 years, and the thing is that in England, 21 out of 35 test matches, India 17 out of 23, Australia 16 out of 25.
But my point, Karthik, is there's no doubt that any side.
So they should be winning.
Any side hosting.
In how many of them?
Okay, in the recent times,
the opposition captain
in the recent times, if we're talking about the Indian team, when did they win the test match in India? They lost the test match against Australia when the match was in Pune.
It was an aberration.
You cannot even imagine the kind of wicket which was in the favor of the home conditions. And when India went to South Africa and played in Joburg, that wicket suited the South Africans, the local team. But India went on to win the test match because India won the toss. Recent series, well,
did they win the series? They lost 2-1.
They lost the toss in Cape Town. Now the thing is,
they won the toss
when India,
they were bowling first on a surface which was helping them.
When England went to Sri Lanka recently, they won the series. All the 3 matches, Joe Root won the toss. New Zealand beating.
You are talking of one in the history of
New Zealand beating
Pakistan in UAE. Cricket being played. You please look at the number of occasions
beating Pakistan in UAE. The whole point here is there's no doubt that the home team will get the conditions because you can't expect a Perth wicket at Wankhede.
Okay, neither can you expect toss will win match. Just
now
like
you
they
give
say
an opportunity.
Now how many times has tosses won matches? Please tell me. Bring out that stat.
You at least give. It's not only about stat. You at least give the visiting side a fair chance to use the conditions which will not be in their favor if they lose the toss.
Don't have a toss. Just give them. Ask them what you want to do. Okay, I'll ask you a question. England 21 out of 35 test matches. Out of the ones which they have won, 21, I'm pretty sure that number of tosses would have been won by the opposition.
Just talk about the
India
conditions.
17 out of 23. I'm hoping that those 17 test matches, many test matches, the opposition would have won the toss.
How many?
It's not about the odd
test match. Talk about the conditions for a visiting side, especially when
they're alien.
When
they're alien. Toss is okay. The toss is okay, but you still have to be able to counter the home advantage which the opposition has.
There's no doubt that
how many times
India
has won tosses in Australia? How many times have we won?
Every ground in the world will have its own character.
Just to give you a stat, because you were saying how many times in the last 3 years, the 6th time that India have won tosses abroad, they won the match.
I'll give you another example.
Have they won the series?
No,
have they won the series?
Because they didn't win the toss.
What is a home advantage? Okay, if they don't win the toss.
Because that's
how many times they won the toss and lost games?
Another example I can give is
the Lord's Test and lost games. How many times? Okay, teams coming to Asia. Okay, the Sri Lankan side right now, which he brought about out of hundreds of years of cricket.
Let's talk about Lord's.
It's a side which is at its abysmal low.
Karthik, let's not talk about Sri Lanka
being beaten by even we beat them.
Okay.
How many times has India gone and beaten?
But New Zealand also just
in spite of being similar conditions, how many times has India gone and beaten Lanka in Lanka?
Now, if suppose you take the Lord's Test match which India lost, okay? Now, if India would have won the toss and elected to field, would it have been difficult for the England batsmen to face the Indian bowlers on that wicket? Okay. That is the kind of things which I am trying to say.
Look at the number of times
as a player
has been has
as
been
a player,
run over in spite of going to foreign conditions. If you talk about the West Indies of old, possibly that was a completely different side. If you talk about the Australian side of old, even they struggled to beat us in India. I'll talk about our own Indian team. In the last 3 years, Kohli has lost 10 tosses.
Yes.
He has just lost one game. So, was toss an advantage on ranked turners which we have played on? Home advantage is always going to be a bigger advantage. You can give all tosses to the opposition. I will tell you, you can see at the end of the series how many times the series is won by the opposition.
The recent series in Sri Lanka, in UAE, and when India won in
Adelaide, an aberration.
As a cricket lover, what do you want? You want a fair.
How many times have you heard teams and captains saying that the India are brilliant in their own backyard, Australia are brilliant in their backyard? Has anybody spoken about a toss? Now you win the toss, you will beat India in their backyard. Has anyone said that?
Okay, we'll have to take a time out at the moment because it's all getting very heated up. But we continue with the subject, and our next round is also called timeout. Alright, you've heard the two experts. Now we've got a fan joining in. Let's listen into Tanay Shah from Mumbai, and whose side is he on?
So I agree with Murli, Karthik in saying that home advantage is better than toss advantage in test matches because the home team has a cutting edge over the away team. The home team knows exactly how to assess the conditions, unlike the away team which will make some mistake in assessing the conditions. The home team knows exactly what to do, and they know exactly how the pitch is going to turn out on the 3rd or the 4th day of the test match. They know they have so many players in their 11 which will play at their specific home grounds on a specific test match, which will give them more confidence to play.
The fan has spoken. Would you like to counter?
Yeah, so I'm agreeing with Tanay. There's no doubt that I'm agreeing with Tanay that there is always going to be an advantage for the home side because they grew up on those conditions. There's no doubt about it. So if the visiting side wins the toss, he'll have more chances of winning the test match.
He will have, but has he? Historically, have they?
In the recent past, it's changed. In the recent past,
one series.
No. Not one series.
One match here and there.
Because how many times did the visiting side win the toss and lose the match?
Please take
match.
I'm just giving you in India itself. You're coming to India.
So if you see,
Kohli has lost 10 tosses. Has he lost 10 games?
Winning the toss will at least give an opportunity.
Kohli lost 10 games. 10 tosses. Has he lost 10 games?
No, he hasn't.
Exactly.
All right. Now to our final segment, knockout take. Final comments, VVS?
Yeah, I think that toss will definitely help the visiting side to put up a competitive match. And while there is home advantage for the home side, it's always important to give the toss in favor of the visiting side to make the match competitive and give them a chance to win the game and make it interesting for the cricket lovers.
The idea in cricket is to win. And with the home advantage, what happens is that even if you lose the toss, people are so adept in playing in home conditions, and that is why historically teams haven't lost at home. It's the home advantage which stands. It's not about negating, it's about the fact that you're there to win games, and that's all it is. Toss is not a handicap.
Okay, toss advantage or home advantage, you've heard the two experts, but if you've got an opinion, do put in those comments below the video. We'd love to hear from you. You are watching Gloves Off.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section below. Click on the bell icon for notifications.